All right, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Foundational Truths. My name is John Lemus.
Director Mula.
Mo Magaza.
Okay, the reason why we get together is if you have any area in which you are not thriving in or you're having trouble in is in an area that you don't understand God's truth about that area. So we're trying to figure out what the truths are in different areas. I usually start out with some questions. My first question to you guys, we're going deep quick. What do you think is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life in your words?
The purpose of life, in my word, is to serve others.
Okay. What do you think the purpose of life is, Mo?
I mean, growing up, I was always told it's a submission to God,
Okay.
what God wills for you to submit.
Okay. Mine has always been, and always probably will be, is to please God and serve others. So in pleasing God,
It is
that's
submission.
is submission and serving others. All right. So what scares you the most about growing old? Anything scare you the most about growing old? Don't look at my belly. That don't have to happen. I'm just letting you know. Look at Mo.
Now, I could answer that honestly. I think about even like just a year from now that aging always I always think about it because I'm a person who always thinks ahead. For me, by old, you talking about like senior citizen old or
Senior citizen old.
I feel like I'm old right now. I feel like I haven't accomplished enough, and that's what scares me. Is like the fact that I haven't reached my potential, and that will be what's gonna really scare me if I become that age and still trying to achieve things that I could have done years back.
Okay. I don't think you ever achieve your potential. I think it's kind of more of a, as you go, you can always be better, What you think?
I mean, for me, what scares me about being old is just, have I, completed my purpose? Or have I,
Your mission in life, huh?
Yeah, that's the only thing. But in terms of physically, no, not really. But
Okay.
if that's the only thing, if I have, if I didn't waste time, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, since I'm the oldest here, this one kind of pertains to me more than you guys. I guess it would have to be almost like yours, where you're laying on your deathbed and you still have a lot left to go. You know what I mean? It's like you want to try and get everything out that you can. And you do want it to kind of count. You don't want to just do it just for money or just for fame or anything like that, but something that would leave a legacy, I guess.
Yeah. I think being alive, not just living, but have you lived?
Yeah, instead of
that's
just
the-
existing.
Yeah, that's the only scary thing about
All right,
being
this is a
old.
good one for you, Mo. What's the biggest challenge you're currently facing in your life? What's the biggest challenge you think? Obviously, it's not a problem, just a challenge.
Man, I gotta actually think about that.
Okay.
And I mean, honestly, personally, I never face things or challenges. If it happens, I just go ahead and try to find a solution or take that opportunity to figure it out. So honestly, I can't even say I'm in a spot where it's I have a difficult challenge that it keeps me up at night. Everything right now, I feel like I can figure it out. So I don't
Stop
have an
right
answer
there.
for that.
Is that a bad answer or a good answer? What do you think? 'Cause I'm going to come at his neck, because I'm going to come at my neck. I'm going to come at your neck.
That's cool. I
What's
mean,
your biggest challenge right now?
right now to me is finding a balance between, by me or through me. That's my biggest challenge, and we talked about it. It's finding somebody who can deliver. I'm talking about in my field that it could be through me instead of by me, that can deliver the same product or even better as you would. That's my biggest problem, and I feel like mentally it's stopping me from growing because I'm I can't find somebody who can deliver the same product or better than me. But and then I've been talking about it for so long. I did find somebody who can.
Okay. I'm saying you're gonna manifest it.
Yeah,
You
so,
put it out.
but yeah, that's
You put that
my biggest,
vibration out
and
there.
then now it's okay. How do we go about it? How do we grow from that? That's my biggest challenge.
Okay, I'm going to answer almost like Mo, because I really don't believe I have a biggest challenge right now.
Yeah.
But that's not a good thing.
Nope.
I'm saying if you're not challenging yourself, if you're not having, any kind of struggle actually creates,
Good
opportunity.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
creates your good character, creates a lot of different things. So if you're not struggling right now, which I'm not, I mean, I'm happy, I'm, content, that's a bad place to be. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
My only issue with
So
the
pick a
question is no. It's not that these are the problems with the challenge.
Uh-huh.
It's that it's what I can control. Once
So you
it,
can
once it gets
control
to no,
everything.
once it gets to the point I can't control, that's a challenge for me.
So
if
once I
God put
can't
like
control
cancer
it,
in me,
I pass it over to God.
Exactly. That's a challenge. That's something I don't have that physical
Okay.
will to attack.
So you're doing it yourself.
That's not just by myself, but I don't have the way out of it. So I just leave it to God. So that's a challenge. So I have faith. That's why I leave it to faith. But like if I can figure it out, have that physical will, I would never see it as a challenge. I would just be like, I'm gonna figure it out some way, somehow.
Okay. All right. So how do you think technology is actually changing the way you live right now? I think it's changing the way you live. It's not doing a whole lot to me.
It's changing everything.
It's a shame because I'm
I do it every day.
I think for me, technology is in my field, in my gift. I should say, technology is making it for me to be more creative and for me to have that limitless creativity. But it also has a con, and that is it's making me also lazy too, knowing that I don't have to really I don't really have that many challenges. You know what I mean?
So you can't look as leverage as lazy.
Yeah.
You can look at it as, if you catch, some type of technology as a leverage,
Yeah.
that will free up your mental space to try and create somewhere else,
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're always worried about editing or you're always worried about one thing in your space, that's not necessarily good, unless that's the only thing you're doing,
Yeah, I mean the idea is for for us to live, not to have technology live for us. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's the idea, is for us to help and stimulate our mind and stimulate our creativity. But that doesn't mean like, okay, well, we're just gonna plug in a few things and let it do everything. Now you're not living, you're having robots live for you. You need, like you said earlier, you need that challenge that to actually give you a good character.
Right. But that challenge might be outside your preview of your imagination right now if you're bogged down in the day-to-day, minutia of what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah.
So the idea is to use the leverage, use the technology as best you can. That frees up space for you to go to that next level. I don't even know where it is in your field, So what do you think? How's technology changing the way you live?
I mean, I could go on for days about that, but honestly, to make it short, I feel like maybe it's because I'm like, not to say like he said you're lazy, like I use it as leverage, I mean, I've been lazy my whole life. I always try to figure out shortcuts. Like people say, my dad complains about how lazy I am because I don't do the hard work. I just figure a way how to finesse it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to do all that. So technology helps a lot with my work. I finesse through my work. I finesse through my businesses. I did like learning like creativity aspect of it. It helps me like find ideas that it would take me like weeks to figure out, but with that, with a snap of a finger, I can just give it a prompt and figure out what I want to do. Gives me strategies and things I can do quicker.
So you're using
Use it as
AI for
leverage.
that? Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
regularly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
know how to spell it. I don't know how to use it.
I use AI all the time,
Yeah, that's
I
good.
mean, but the thing is, it's like, okay, now you're losing that skill because that skill is, like, for example,
That skill.
writing a paper, right?
Yeah.
Or writing emails. You can be like, write an email to this person, and then boom, he just does that. Or maybe right now, like Gmail has summarized this email, right?
Fact.
Somebody sends you a 30-page, it'll summarize it into like a 1-page. I use it, yes, but
Thank God for that. Shit.
I'm saying.
If I was in school, I'd be in Harvard right now,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
No, and I've used it multiple times, but I still, in the back of my mind, I don't want that to be my number one answer every time. Like, okay, well, I can go to that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to figure out, okay, if I can figure, okay, then it's more like help rather than like looking for it to be like the first choice.
Okay.
You have a good point.
All right. So what's the most significant decision you've had to make in your life so far up till now?
I get married.
It could be.
I'm saying the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, getting married or buying a house, one of those things.
Getting married to the right woman is a good decision.
Yeah.
Because getting married to just anybody.
But you said, what is the significant? You didn't say
Yeah, what is the
good-
most significant decision?
Yeah, significant,
You've
just the
made-
biggest decision, right?
Yeah, you've had to make in your life so far.
Yeah.
Okay, mine actually was, I was sitting in a classroom and we were talking about equity between, you know, African American and white, and why are they so far behind in different areas or whatever. And I looked at it as almost a call to action to try, because a lot of the kids I was dealing with at the time wanted, you know, better. They just didn't know where to go to get it. They didn't, you know, they just didn't have a whole lot of help or, you know, a whole lot of exposure to it, you know. So that's when I started mentoring like Justin and Aaron and a bunch of different guys, just to get them out of their situation and show them that, you know, their life doesn't have to be the same as everybody around them. That's all.
So your decision was to step up and
Yeah.
support in that area.
So that was actually one of, you know, yeah, it says,
That's
what's the
amazing.
most significant decision you've had to make in your life so far? If I did not do that, I probably, like I said, I wouldn't be the same person. You know, because that opened up my eyes too, you know, stuff that, you know, they're looking at and doing things.
But here's the question.
Yes.
Another question is what decision has the universe made for you that has changed your life?
I'm saying I've been exposed, especially like working here at Arsenal. I mean, being exposed to all these different cultures.
Yeah.
I mean, my life has become definitely enriched
Yeah.
by, you know,
Yeah.
opening up and, you know, seeing, you know, there's not a whole lot of difference in people, period, you know, whether they don't look the same or if they do, or, you know, they come from different places. It's everybody's kind of looking for the same stuff. So, what role does gratitude play in your life? Are you constantly grateful? Are you grateful once in a while if you get something? Or think about, you know, what gratitude means?
I mean, I try to stay grateful, but there's times, you know, it goes behind your head and you act a certain way where pride comes in, you know, in certain situations. But I'll say if you're not humble, man, you're going to crumble. So,
Yeah. Okay. What about gratitude in your life, brother?
I mean, I'm very appreciative. You know, a couple months ago, it'd be like when I pray, I'm like, God, I want this, I want this, I want this, right? But
You think he's a genie?
yeah, you know, but I mean, God will give you what you want. It's just not the way, you know, you expect it. It's not going to be a wish or whatever. He'll show you how to get it. But I mean, like, it's more like you have to appreciate what you have, because there's always people that don't have that, you know, either that opportunity or what you have. So I changed my mindset to just appreciating, you know, for something as simple as the air, for allowing me to serve others, for being alive, or for being able to wake up, you know, in the morning.
Yeah, it's
simple things.
It's amazing when your mind switches to gratitude, how much your life actually changes. Because you could sit around and woe is me and be a millionaire. You know, always worried about different stuff and not enjoy the actual blessings you have, you know. Or you can be grateful for hardly anything. And eventually, like I said, your vibration matches it and you start getting stuff. You know, it's crazy. How do you think your generation will change the world? Since you guys are kind of in the same generation, real close.
yeah.
My generation, how would my generation change the world?
Your generation did a whole lot too, man. Are you the Federal Reserve generation?
I have no idea, bro.
You
Yeah,
get
when
Reagan,
that
whatever
started.
his name
Yeah,
is.
I'm definitely in the Reagan era.
Yeah, that's y'all. That's y'all.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. Y'all changed the whole system.
You ain't lying. I think Trump might be changing it back. But go ahead. What do you think your generation is going to do for this world?
Oh, they're gonna do a lot. My generation.
Say what you think.
Automation. I mean, they're gonna be a lot of lazier people, but it's gonna flush out a lot of, you know, good and bad. I think this generation is gonna be
That's
that,
gonna expose.
behind that. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000. You know, like our generation is just between like the baby boomer and like the
Oh no, we're
like
not that
right
far
after
back.
the baby boomer,
But yeah,
right?
millennials.
and then
Gen
the-
Z or whatever.
and Gen
Gen
Z,
Z,
right?
yep.
So the issue is we're trying to be as hard as the baby boomers, but also trying to sympathize with the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that case, like to me, I look at it like our we don't have a direction in where we want to go. That's me. Maybe I am reflecting. You know, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I mean for you specifically,
Projected.
he does fit in the exact middle of that.
Yeah.
You're not too far out with the millennials, and
Yeah.
you're not too close to the Gen Z.
Yeah.
So like, it's hard for you to fit in where you want to be at. And I kind of feel where you're coming from too.
But I mean, what I would like is to, for them to be themselves, like for us to, be ourselves and actually shake things up and stick to our morals and values. But being able to like, okay, some of us are siding with and then some of us are like, trying to understand. I think that's where the whole everything is like confused right now.
Facts.
Because if we're having the Gen Zs, right? Because we're at that age where we're having, like, some of us are having, we got to be like, okay, this is wrong, this is how you do it. But we're like, yeah, well, let's just, okay, accept. You know what I mean? That's my issue, and I feel like it needs to
they're your
change.
kids.
I know, but still, it's okay to be like, this is, like, this is this and this is it. Like, you can't say because it's my kid, I'm gonna have a leeway. It's like you can't. It's like, you see the truth, but you're gonna ignore the truth because you love that person. It doesn't work
Right.
like that. You have to tell it how it is.
That's kind of why this podcast started, because I'm telling you the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when
It
you're
doesn't
born.
change. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's-
even with like different languages,
facts
different
definitely
people.
change. Yeah,
all
facts
that.
change.
Defend it.
The truth does not.
I mean, I know I didn't answer your question, but
You kind of
Yeah.
did. Yeah, it's the idea of it, anyways. So, whew. What do you think is the key to finding inner peace?
The key.
The key. The one. What do you think?
I mean, personally, I do it sometimes, even when I'm like in a chaotic, situations or circumstances. The key for me is to actually submit to God and praise to God, and we have our actual format of way, appreciating God. So that does help me feel more content. It brings me back to the most important things of all. So, I mean, it makes me feel peaceful at that moment, and that's my key, and that should be.
Okay. What's your key to finding inner peace?
I mean, it's the same thing.
Same thing, getting grounded with your
Getting
source?
grounded with the source and
Okay.
serving His people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you lose your inner peace is when you think your circumstances are bigger than your source.
Facts.
If your source is, you got to understand your source is way bigger than any circumstance you run into. So when you understand it's like fear and faith can't coexist. So the higher your fear is, the less you have faith. But the greater your faith is, then there is no fear. Okay, we're actually called to be strong and, understand that He can take care of anything, You got to think about where He's at, supposedly, up in heaven and looking down, and it's almost like being on a plane. When you look down from a plane's perspective, how small we are and how little our issues are, But when we're down here on this level and thinking physically on this plane, it might you think it's the biggest problem you've ran into in 20 years, But if you think on His level, thinking down, you think it doesn't even matter. Most of the stuff you worry about.
Even to add to that,
Yep.
I would definitely give credit to my surrounding, my parent, my mom specifically. She will always remind me of that. Come back to God. Whatever you're doing is, she always bring me back to the core, and having that environment or somebody bringing you back to the core definitely helps, because some people get stuck in their silo and get distracted, and that's how they get lost in the sauce. So you need to be mindful of your environment too.
Yeah, because your environment's what's going to eat you alive. So, what is something that you're passionate about and why? Just think about what right now that you're passionate about. And why are you passionate about that right now? Why is it something that's on the front of your mind? Mine is trying to start this men's thing, boys to men thing here at the school. Because these kids are lost. Oh my God.
2025, gotta kick it off, man.
Man, I just got to kick it off like yesterday. Because right now, they're just going through it. These guys, I'm telling you, the guys have no foundation. They're trying to fight females all the time. I'm like, y'all,
I mean, the
you don't even
issue
make any
the issue
sense.
with them fighting females because a lot of them be raised by
Raised by
females.
females.
Yeah.
That's all they do is fist fight. You know what I mean? And it's okay at home, I
And
guess.
then the crazy thing
That's
is,
actually a thing now here. I never
it's-
seen it when I was there.
It's huge. Yeah, it's way different than when you guys were here, believe it or when, 10, 15 years ago. It wasn't the same thing. Yeah, it's totally different now.
Damn.
Yeah. But,
um,
so what are you passionate about?
for me, it's flying. Like, it's
So why are you passionate about flying?
why am I passionate about flying? because I seen in a dream I'm supposed to be flying.
Okay. I was just to say your legs work perfect. You know,
I know,
That's all right.
but
Like flying without anything.
No.
Yeah, he's talking about with an airplane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
you know the crazy thing is like my window, it's so they have multiple runways, and then there's one runway that they usually use the most because of the winds and how they blow. So my window, it's perfectly, so every time a plane's about to land, I see that and I picture
Brother, who's you
myself.
tell? I'm 4 miles from the airport.
Yeah, but like I
hear
picture
them.
myself, you know,
Oh,
I
you up
picture
on there?
myself
Okay.
like the one about to land that plane, you know, and it's that bad. I mean, I have a figure playing on my desk, so it's just, you know, it's that it's eating me up alive.
Okay.
You know,
So what are you passionate about right now? Mo.
I won't say like right now, but I'll say like throughout the period of my lifetime, like I always been passionate about like giving people that advantage of like helping them like figuring out things quicker. Like I'll give you the resources to help you. Like maybe it's not my way, but like it will help you like figure things out faster. And I've always been passionate about helping people like to
So
expedite.
you don't like to see them struggling.
Yeah.
Okay. Not even realizing that the actual gift is in the struggle. I'm just letting you know.
That's a good point.
It is, I'm telling you. All right, so how do you handle the fear of judgment from others? That's what
How do I handle?
Yeah, because I don't even have any fear of judgment from others.
I don't even give a damn.
yeah, that's good,
I don't
yeah.
know.
That's how you
It
handle
never maybe yeah. Earlier during when I was younger, it
What
was
about
just
like a
to bother
boss or
me.
something?
I was to get called fat boy. You know, they
Yeah.
know how it is. That used to bother me here and there. And
So what did it do? So
It made him go to the gym.
I'm saying.
Damn
That's
right it
There's
did.
always a blessing.
I ain't
He
gonna lie.
stays in
I
the
don't think it
gym.
was the gym. I think it was growth.
It's too-
As soon as I
it's
went
too
to high school, that shit went on.
It's two sides. They didn't call me fat boy when I was young.
yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, man. When your aunties and your siblings call you fat boy, that shit kind of hit me different. It was fine with the bros and the boys out here, but when it was your family, damn, the respect was gone.
That's a shame.
You know the
You
thing
handle
is,
it. How do you
I
handle
could
the fear
relate
of
to that, but you know,
Yeah.
Shorty was the, you know, but
Shorty was yours.
Shorty was. I mean, like it's the same thing when you're young, like you know those things bother you. But right now, I don't really care, because the thing is like, as soon as like I'm a giant because of my confidence right now. But we all went through that, that moment where you like, that kind of like does bother me. I mean, I went from Shorty to Mr. Potato Head, like all that stuff, and that's all good.
I went from red barn to carrot top. Got red hair. And then when you get a little bit older, like when I was 30, everybody wanted red hair because no one had it.
Yeah, still
It's,
right.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's like I said. It,
Definitely
whatever.
builds character though, them name calling, tough skin.
All right, so what I want to talk about today, it's going to be probably 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What is the state of your financial house? So what do you think the state of your financial house is?
I say just a little bit above maintenance. I have like other things like leverage, but I don't know like the actual question here you're asking me.
Just what do you think really like the state of the financial house is? A sick house, a stable house, or a wealthy house?
I was in between stable. Like I can
Between stable?
like not between stable and wealthy. Like I
Okay.
have enough to sustain me and for years, but like I'm not like where I can say I can do and get whatever I want.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think your house?
What were the three?
The three was a sick house, a stable house, or a wealthy house.
Yeah, I mean stable. I mean, but it needs a lot of work.
It needs a little touch up.
Yeah, a little need. The house needs a little touch up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, the way your house is actually labeled depends upon the perceptions you have about money. Okay, a sick house owner will think money is basically to pay bills. Okay, so if you just look at money to pay bills, you're gonna have enough to pay your bills, but you're not gonna have anything else. Okay, so the blueprint for the sick house is actually up on the board there, but you actually have what's called an income window. Okay, so that's all the money you bring into the house comes in your income window, And in a sick house, it actually goes straight down to what's called the outgo window, and that's where you're paying your bills. Yeah, and you're buying things that you probably need, but all your money basically just comes in and it just goes right out. So you're living paycheck to paycheck, and so if your house is sick, you actually think the primary purpose of the money is to pay bills and buy stuff. People who live this way spend every bit of money they get. Okay, your family's going to go out and have to take up a collection to have a funeral or to have a cremation, because you're not going to have extra money when you actually die. Okay, the idea is to actually have more, when you passed and when you started, obviously.
That's why they got life insurance.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying they don't have life insurance. If you have a sick house,
Paycheck to paycheck.
if you live paycheck to paycheck, that's one of the first things to go is your insurance and stuff. Even if you get it for a little while. So you need to do more with your money than just pay bills and buy stuff to be wealthy. In a stable house, which is the second one. So they both don't fall down. Okay, so in a stable house, a lot of times you'll have a job and you have some type of business. Okay, that's what I have. I know that. And that's what you kind of have. You don't have a job, but you have a business that makes decent money, and you have a job and a business type stuff. So it all goes into the income window. And in a stable house, there's another window. So there's actually 3 windows. Think about in a sick house, you got 2 windows in the whole house. So how is your outlook on life? What do you actually see? You don't see much. You know what I mean? Because you're all basically stuck in a house with no windows.
Yeah.
All right. So your third window is actually called a wealth reducing liabilities window. Okay. So that's basically cars, boats, that kind of stuff that you actually.
The house itself.
Yeah, and the house itself is actually but you can see that the foundation. I forgot about the foundation for the sick house is actually built on lies, because the lie is. Money is basically hard to make. Money is only to pay bills. Basically, like I said, all the lies that you know about money.
The crazy thing is, Liam, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I just sometimes I ask myself for people that work the same job for 40 years.
Right.
And
you're looking at them, but go ahead.
No, I ain't-
just be nice. No, I'm 30 some years, but go ahead.
I'm
I'm making 100,000 a year, but it
Talk
doesn't
to me
mean
nice.
Hey, hit impression, man. He needs that.
I'm saying right.
No, but I'm saying that
Keep going.
what you're doing is essential, right? I'm talking about.
You don't have to sugarcoat it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I'm just saying we need that. We need teachers. We need, But I'm talking about people like if you work in a job for 40 years and every day you take the same. Every year you take the same vacation. You make the same money. You might get like maybe $1 increase, and every time you can't do anything like extravagant or maybe like give you a little bit of freedom. Maybe like take the 6 months off. How do people live with that? Because I did, for 2 years, I worked for a nonprofit. It wasn't exactly 9 to 5, but it was still like, they expect you to be there, and you have to be there, and you get like certain amount of vacation of the year. I couldn't do it.
Okay, so my quick answer to that is what school tells the kids as they're here: get good grades, study hard, and you'll get a good job. Okay, they're putting at the end of your actual income level at a job. Jump out of bed, go on a journey broke just to be just over broke. So they don't really tell you that there's anything different. Okay, obviously someone that owns a business or has a family that's made money in the past are not going to take that same way, But like I said, the majority of people that come to, regular school, that's all they know. So the difference between them and people that don't, is all knowledge. So I'm saying just the idea of understanding and be able to explain to them, it's a different house.
Yeah.
You can make the same money. The one guy even told me, he said, I could work at McDonald's and still become a millionaire.
Yeah.
It's not the amount of money you make, it's what you do with your money when you make it. Okay, it can start out slow, but it'll actually increase real quick. All right? So,
It's the same
leverage.
idea. It's the same idea whether like they say we can give you like $1 million right now, or I'll just let your money double up every.
yeah,
like
you'll
anybody,
be broke. The people I'm
yeah.
telling you, I go to all these trips with these kids, and like if they got $5 in their pocket, they are mad if they're standing in line trying to spend that money. That's what they're made to do. They want to spend everything in their pocket. It's almost like it's like crack fiend type look. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
So anyways, in the stable financial house, you actually build good credit. You borrow money when you don't really need to buy wealth reducing liabilities like boats, cars, RVs. And it's really half truths. So I mean, you know a little bit about money because you're working a business and you're picking up some skills, but you really don't understand. You're missing a whole nother window because now you're at 3 windows. You have your income window, you have your outgo window with your bills and all that stuff, and you have your wealth reducing liabilities window. Okay. The house you're trying to build and try to get to, and like I said, if you don't know it exists, you're never going to get there. Okay, is actually the wealthy window or wealthy house or wealth stable house. If you look at the roof actually of the house,
Yeah.
in this one you have asset protection and you have insurance. You start to build, kind of safeguards because it kind of hedges against catastrophes on different things. Even like, because if you don't have type of insurance and say you have a fire at the house or something, like I said, you start back at square one again, So your asset protection, is more on that, just on that house, because you're buying a lot of wealth reducing liabilities and they're not really making you any money. They're actually costing you money. So you can't really protect those, Obviously you have car insurance and stuff, but the third one, no, with asset protection. Go ahead.
I'm just it's side.
Yeah.
Disregard. I said scam. No.
Oh, it could be scam. Yeah. But I'm saying if you have enough money, you don't even have to carry car insurance.
Really?
Yeah, you can have like a bond or something that, like $1 million bond. If you get in a car accident, and you may never use it, what I mean? But it's still your money and you can build it,
What do you mean if I have enough money? Enough money to own the car, right? Or is it enough
No,
money
I'm
based
saying
on
that
my income?
obviously,
Because
yeah,
if I have enough money to pay for full car and I don't have to pay insurance, I'll do that any day, anytime.
But I'm saying you still need collision for the other person. You know what I mean? But if you have that $1 million bond, you don't have to go buy car insurance because you use that $1 million bond. If, say, I get an accident, I still got to cover the other person. You know what I mean?
Right.
If that happens.
That's why.
I mean-
Yours, you don't really have to have it on yours if you own your own car. You know what I mean?
But it's still smart to have insurance, though.
It is on our level.
What do you mean
The
by
next level, they don't mess with the insurance. They got enough money. The
What would
insurance
be smart?
company.
Like I always thought it was a scam. Like, can you? I understand you have to pay the collision part.
No,
but
I'm
if you
saying
don't have it yet.
it'll be smart because you have to understand sometimes, like there's insurance depending on how good of a driver you are. Sometimes insurance could be very cheap depending on the age, where you live, and all that stuff. So
Right.
if you have $1 million bond that you already have, and the insurance in your neighborhood and the car, like the age you are in the car that you drive, it might be cheaper to do that than having to, if you hit somebody and their car is like $1 million car, now that whole $1 million car is gone, you have to pay them, but insurance would have covered that. I just think,
Most insurance won't cover $1 million. I'm telling
no,
you.
I'm just saying it
You think they will,
hypothetically.
they're gonna
they
drop
won't
you.
because it won't, but I'm saying
The deductible is
I had
crazy.
yeah, I had a Subaru Impreza and like it got hit. What I was paying and how much they pay out, it was completely different.
Yeah.
I feel like they actually paid more than what I paid them. Mm-hmm. That's just
That
me.
happens sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't get as much as the cars actually worth.
True, true.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this third one because we got to keep it moving. As far as the wealthy house, it's built on the foundation of truth itself. Money actually is nothing more than something that goes towards a person of value. So the more valuable you make yourself,
a
money
concept.
is attracted to that. Okay, it actually repels to somebody that's in chaos or somebody that's loud. And like I said, money doesn't come to certain things. All right, in the actual roof of it, you'll have insurance to pay off debts, any bills. If something happens that you're going to die, you'll have life insurance. You might have, just some type of insurance that's going to cover, the actual mortgage on your house if you need it, So a lot of times in the wealthy house, your house is paid off. But anyways, it comes in the income window. And the biggest difference between stable and wealthy is there's another window. The other window is income producing assets. Okay, the more income producing assets you have, the more actually is going to help your income out because it goes over to your income producing asset and it starts to go backwards. It starts to go back, it starts to fill up your income window. So the idea is, like I said, you buy more of these, it can start filling this up and not just be your business and just your job. Okay, eventually you can stop those two because your income producing assets could actually start paying all your bills and all your wealth reducing liabilities. That's called financial freedom. Okay, when you don't have to go to work, but what your assets are doing, they're bringing in more than what your bills are going out.
Yeah.
Okay, so some income producing assets could be like an Airbnb, could be like land or gas rights, like I have. Like every month they pay me, for the gas that they're trying to pull out of my land. Could be money in the market. So the whole idea is you either buy, build, accumulate, require, or create those assets. Okay, it could be writing a book, could be courses, land, wealth, So the idea is to try and eventually in this wealthy house, your income producing asset window is going to be the biggest window. And when it does become the biggest window, then like I said, you're not worried about your bills. You're not worried about how much it costs to go to the restaurant. You can stop looking at the price side and just order what you want, Most people are actually addicted to that immediate gratification. When you get that paycheck, you feel a certain way, you start spending it right away. Like I said, the idea though is to try to at least put a percentage on what you bring in to go over towards that income producing assets. Reason why most people don't do it, because you don't get money right away. Say if I go buy a laundromat, okay, you got to fix it up a little bit. You got to make sure that maintenance is clean. So you put a little money into it first before it pays you back. Eventually your income producing asset window will pay all your bills on time and pay back all the debt that you have. And that, like I said, that brings you to that financial freedom. So the way you can tell which house you actually own is, does most of your money go to pay bills? If most of your money goes to pay bills, then you're in a poor or sick financial house. Mm-hmm. Okay, does most of your money go to pay off debt that you used to buy things you didn't need, didn't really want, and couldn't afford, so you can oppress other people you don't know, who don't even care about you? Then you're in that stable house. Okay, try to make yourself look better, but I'd rather be rich than look rich. All right, so does most of your money go into some kind of asset that can actually produce more money for you? So think about the percentage of money you take out of your paycheck every week or 2 weeks or whatever you're doing with your paychecks. Where does it go first? Does it go to bills? Does it go to your income or your wealth reducing liabilities? Or does it go to your income producing assets? You have to try to change your whole mindset about that, because most people are worried about bills. Most people are worried about going back to zero.
Question is, is this still an asset if you're buying depreciating assets? So for example, if I buy a camera, right? Mm-hmm. The camera, if I buy a camera for $5,000 and then 2 years later that camera is $3,000, but yet I've used it and it made me money, but it's still a depreciating asset. Does that still count?
Okay, answer your own question, because what is an asset? You remember? Definition of an asset is something that does what?
Accumulate.
That puts money in your pocket. What's a liability?
Some that doesn't.
Takes money out of your pocket.
Okay.
So when you buy a camera and it's putting money in your pocket, it's definitely an asset. Without a doubt.
But it's still depreciated, because
okay, everything will depreciate.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Houses and land, it's not.
Some things don't as well. But I'm saying most physical things will depreciate.
Because land is not going to depreciate, because we're not making any more land, right?
Right, land is all there and that's it. Yeah, so that's not going to depreciate. That's going to appreciate.
So I guess the answer to my question is some assets will depreciate. Mm-hmm. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, but will it still be counted as asset even though it is depreciated?
Absolutely.
It depends on how much of depreciation
it's a
doing.
depreciating asset. It's still an asset.
So it counts as a depreciating asset.
Yeah,
right.
that's all. Yeah.
Can I add a caveat to this? I think it's very important to yes, you can have all these different house. What do you call it?
Wealthy house. You talking about?
No, the three categories.
Types of houses.
Yeah, 3 types of categories. Even you can be in a wealthy house, but if you're buying materialistic things, you're buying the Bugattis, you're buying things that are going to come back to debt.
Wealth reducing liabilities.
No matter how many incomes you bring, your expenses are still going to be up. You're still back to pretty much a sick house. Would you say wisdom plays a key role into this? Understanding
Absolutely,
the financial knowledge.
It's not a sick house, because a sick house does nothing but pay bills. So it's not the wealth reducing liabilities that you're talking about. That's the stable house.
Right now, I'm thinking a few people that got sick houses. Well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some people
I got what he's saying.
Live paycheck to paycheck, and they get lucky if they go on one vacation a year. Like I said, they usually go into debt to try to do it.
Maybe my
I'm not
problem
talking
is
about
I'm
your
putting a
Bugattis and all
number.
that stuff. You're talking about. You're asking me, are there a lot of millionaires or even, like 10 millionaires one paycheck away from going broke. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because they buy a lot of
They will tell you
liabilities.
themselves.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the more money you put into your assets, though, you won't have that money to put in your liabilities. Obviously, you're going to have credit and stuff, so you can use credit to buy that stuff. But the more you put it in those assets, the asset column will pay for your wealth-reducing liabilities. You're supposed to buy your wealth-reducing liabilities out of your asset column.
No,
not out of your
I understand
income.
all that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, psychologically, there's an aspect that plays a role too. You can have the extremes, income streams. It's still
Yeah.
you still have to understand that if you're like you're saying, if your liabilities are increasing, no matter how you could be a billionaire, you're still gonna be in the sixth house because you're paying so much goddamn bills because all the expenses you're paying for. So you have to be wise about it.
Yeah, it's hard to get to that level and have all that stuff. But there's few people up there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
And I'll tell you, you're talking about, just say like professional athletes, to give you a good example.
Facts. There
'Cause
we
they
go.
come with a check, you know what I mean? And when they come with that check, you don't know how many years you get in that thing, you know what I mean? So if you don't put it into the asset category and you're buying those wealth-reducing liabilities, that check, your job or your business ain't gonna be there forever. I'm gonna get older, I can't do the same thing for my business. So, what kind of assets do I have that can, overshoot that?
Right.
So, all right. So then the whole idea is, does most of your money go into some kind of asset that can produce more money? Because when it does that, then and only then, we have a strong, successful, sustainable financial house built on truth, not all the misrepresented lies that we're told. Okay. So now you should always have more assets than liabilities, more assets than bills and credit that you're doing. A lot of people do actually borrow money, and there's nothing wrong with borrowing money if you're buying assets. Because you borrow money, say at
I got
5%,
I got a question. I probably don't know the
Yeah.
answer. Sorry
Right.
to cut you off.
No, you good.
So you have a business, and the business, it's and you have assets with the business, but at that moment, the money that's coming in for your business is just enough to, cover
Your expenses.
Your expenses. How do you categorize that? Because if you say expensive, that's just your bills, right? But you still have assets of the equipment and everything that you have, and it's still a business. Does the business need to grow, or does the business need to go to the next level, or is this still a sick house?
That's lack of management. That's like you not doing your due diligence, understanding how much money is coming in with your assets and how much you're spending. So you just have to figure out what your business is performing financially.
Yeah.
If you can get rid of some of those liabilities, you'll be in a better position than you are.
The biggest thing is, how do you scale a business? Okay, you can scale a business with credit.
Facts.
Okay, if you have some proven track record on what you've done with what you have, people will gladly give you money to try to scale that business because they know you have the assets to cover that business loan.
Also, they
So
believe
if
in
you
your
don't-
business is
yeah,
going to
yeah. If
perform
you
very
don't
well
pay,
too.
if you don't pay it back, obviously they're getting the cameras, they're getting the stuff. That as long as they know it's worth something. So I mean, that's one way to scale a business is through credit. Like I said, it's not necessarily the best way, obviously.
I mean, most businesses in America they're all on that
Yeah.
system.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So the only thing is it's not on that one. Your next step, I'm telling you, with your business is trust.
yeah.
Once you start to trust, you're going to have more people around. You're going to have more ideas around. Your business will scale. My wife's the same way. If she trusted people, we could have that whole 7 acres behind there. It could be a doggy compound. But like I said, we will not scale because success actually leans on trust.
Scaling itself is on trust.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything you try to do, you can't do by yourself. I don't care who you are. But God made it that way because he wants you to help other people, to spread your knowledge, spread your wealth, spread everything, because your wealth isn't really for you. Like I said, it's supposed to be for the good of the group. That's what you're talking about, the serving.
Yeah.
You have so many skills, so many ideas. I mean, there should be 5 people walking around with you. I see it with doctors on TV all the time. They call them attendees or something like that. You know, they're doctors, but they're following around this one doctor that's, you know, almost a genius in that level. And like I said, success leaves clues. You know, I mean, when they follow him around, they pick up on little things, and eventually they can do the same thing. You know, that's how it gets bigger. You know, you by yourself is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
All you're doing is making yourself tired.
Preach.
And I'm the same way. Like I said, I have some people around me. I have people that I mentored that are out doing good things. So I'm happy about that. But
Is it finding the
You don't-
talent? Is that the
you don't-
problem?
you
I'm
don't-
not saying for me.
nah,
I'm
you don't
speaking
have
for
to-
you
yeah.
or my uncle.
No, I'm saying you don't have to find it. You have to be in that vibrational match that you want it. And God will help you find it.
I'm pretty sure you guys speaking about it right now. You definitely want it because you're aware of it.
It's not. It's out of my control. Was the problem in my
Okay.
because it's my wife, and she absolutely will tell Mary to my face. I don't trust anybody. So until she changes her mind, you know, that's her. That's like I said, we have division there because I mean, she had that vision of all that dogs and do all that stuff. That could make so much more money than what I'm doing right now. Until I start, if I mess around and start to do that Boys to Men thing and write a book or something, I mean, that could go somewhere. You know what I mean? It could be a program that's national.
Yeah, she could be holding you back, man.
Yeah, I'm saying it. Like I said, it's my choice what I do. You know, so I mean, you just got to make your decision. So where are you going?
Where am I
You
going?
throwing shots from the left side?
Hey,
I'm saying, I'm
no,
coming
you
from
guys
the
are
right
way
side.
definitely ahead of me. I mean, I'm in like the
We
initial
ain't ahead
phase
of
of
you.
just
Initial phase of what?
initial phase of building. You know, you guys are on that scaling. And once I'm building, I'm definitely like taking these nuggets here. You know, I'm gonna
Yeah.
use it for my experience.
But I'm saying it's already there. God made you everything inside. You don't need anything else. You don't need to do anything else. Like I said, all there is excuses. That's it. And then the results is already there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You look for your excuses. It's like I said, when we're sitting here talking, sometimes I say, well, you're just arguing for your limitations, you know.
That's crazy because last night when looking at myself in the mirror, I literally called myself like a bitch ass nigga for like why you so lazy, bro?
I
Like
ain't saying all
I
that.
get to those moments like I just feel disappointed. And I talk shit to myself, and then it motivates me like to actually take action because like it's like a switch. Like if nobody's telling me, I'm gonna tell it to myself.
See, that's
So,
all. That's all ego, though. Honestly, you got to get rid of that because
Yeah, you think so?
God made you a king.
Yeah,
You are a king already.
I feel like I'd be content too much, and then
No
like
king's gonna call himself a BA. You know, they ain't gonna call him that. You know?
no, I'm just saying like, I'm not taking enough actions on myself. I'm saying I'm being lazy, and I'm telling myself
It's not lazy, bro. What is it?
It's lazy.
That's an excuse.
It's
No, it's
definitely
not
lazy.
lazy.
The resource is there. It's just my ass don't want to go ahead and take that
It's not
action.
even lazy. It's the fact that, to me, I feel like it's the answers that you're not looking for, right? And you give yourself an excuse.
They're already there.
Yeah, you really. I can relate to you because you're what, 27?
Yep.
I can relate to you. The thing is, I will look at somebody and like be like, okay, how are they successful? And I'm not. What am I doing wrong? Like, you're lazy. You're not doing nothing. But at the same time, I'm doing 3 jobs. But when I look in the mirror every time, like I'm disappointed, I'm like I could do more or I can service more.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
But that is also you're gonna not only that, but you're gonna reflect that on the people that you love as well, because what you see on yourself, you see on others, right? So
Somewhat, yep.
that's gonna be you're gonna get. Well, I got to a place where I was very angry with myself, and I was very angry with my partner. I was very angry with everybody else. Everything that came to me was hate because I had hate because I wasn't where I was, and I didn't search the answers that I need, or I didn't do the research that I need. Because you gotta use good affirmations, not. Like you can't let your ego say, "Oh man, he's a bitch ass, whatever. Why aren't you doing nothing?" When you look in the mirror, you gotta be like, "Damn, look at that sexy ass." You know what I mean? Or like how much, like look at what you've done.
I'm saying you got to think
know?
about how God sees
Yeah.
you. He's at a whole different level. He's looking down, but he still knows the number of hairs on your head.
Yeah.
He knows your name. He knows, he actually wove you together in your mother's womb. Like I said, you are one of a million, 10 million or whatever sperm that come flying through. That's the one right there. The idea is, though, and think about it the Donatello is a big old sculpture or whatever.
Yeah, the sculpture, yeah, Donatello
Okay,
the sculpture.
and the one guy asked the guy who did the Donatello, he said, how'd you get that out of that? He said, all I had to do is take away what was not the Donatello. So in your life, you've put so many different things on yourself. I don't care if it's excuses or skills or whatever. you think you need it to get ahead in life. When you get ahead is when you actually lose a lot of stuff. I'm saying the more you can get rid of, the better you're going to be. Because the more stuff you're in, the more jobs you have, the more you're trying to get accomplished. You're trying to do this, trying to do that. You're not focused and mentally on what you're supposed to be doing. When you are and you're getting in that alignment, it's going to be like easy street. Some people are actually doing what they want to do. It's like when I wake up in the morning, I'm happy to come here. It's wild because I don't see anybody else in this building thinking the same thing. But I definitely was born to be here. And I had to get rid of my refereeing. I had to get rid of my pool playing. I had to get rid of all this stuff that I thought was making me happy. And you guys got to do the same thing.
No,
like
I mean,
said, you have a lot of stuff that you're doing in that job that you have as far as all the editing, you take care of all the different aspects. You got to start getting rid of all that stuff. Find out what you want.
You don't even know.
Right. No, I don't.
It took forever to let soccer, go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Soccer is nothing more than a vehicle when you're little.
I let like no more. I'm not recording music. I don't care about that.
Right.
Even like last week when I was saying, I found a guy that not only thinks like me, but also has the same like goal, and it's hard to say. But I'm a man and I have an ego still. He's a better filmmaker than me, has better ideas, but the fact that he respects me, more than anything, and I can trust him with the work. Like we went and shot something.
So why did he come in your life right now?
Oh, because I'm ready right now.
Yeah, I'm saying when you're playing soccer, you're doing this, you're working here, you're not ready for that. God is not going to give you what you want. He's going to give you what you can manage. Whatever whatever level you're at is what he's going to give you. So for you to go up levels, you got to lose stuff. It's not gain stuff.
Yeah.
You think I got to read this book. I read this book. No, you don't. I mean, it's already in there what you're supposed to do.
But the books will give you kind of that reminder, like, yo, you're supposed to be better.
I'm saying when you read a book, honestly, your mind is focused tight on the information stuff, and it's easier for God to put in, imaginations and thoughts and stuff in your mind while you're reading. It's not while you're out at the clubs. It's not when you're out playing soccer, yelling at the guy trying to pass the ball.
Nope.
Like I said, you have to be willing and ready to receive. And like I said, it's on.
Yeah, the crazy thing is
Appreciate those facts, man. You
Yeah.
guys are preaching today.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I ain't even touched the camera on Saturday, and when I left, I gave the dude the drive. He's editing it right now. I ain't gotta do nothing. All I gotta
God
do is
bless you, Haji.
connect, man.
I'm telling
That's
you.
it.
And I'm telling you, it was so funny. I noticed this. I'm at my house, and my neighbor has his son. His son's about 12 or something like that. And he brought his little weed whacker up. And he goes, "Oh, can you weed whack your house?" Or, yeah, because I'm having him buy a truck when he gets older. I said, "God bless you." I said, "How much you want?" He said, $10. I said, if you do it for under 20, you ain't doing my house. That's what he's saying. You better ask for at least 20.
Yeah, or
'cause it's a
higher.
half hour at least, I mean, I got to get this kid thinking in his mind he's worth more than what, he is, They're just trying to $10. I'm like, you ain't $10, man. You got to be outside your mind. I said, I won't even come out my house, But I'm saying when that happened, I was happy as heck. That brother ain't been back yet. I think he wants me to go ask him to come. I'm like, that's not how money moves. You know what I'm saying? When you're valuable and you're walking around, you're doing stuff, you're going to find stuff. If I go over there and I take the money to him, now I tell my wife the same thing. A tree don't deliver its fruit. You know what I'm saying? You got to come to that tree if you want that fruit.
Yeah.
Once you start delivering, now it ain't worth as much. You know what I'm saying? Now your fruit's just rotten.
Also, you'll appreciate it more, too.
Absolutely.
Because
When you go get
put
it,
work in that.
Yeah, you go get it, you appreciate it. Like I said, I'm teaching you the wrong thing if I'm, coming and giving it to you.